Salutations, my dudes. Today we're gonna be doing another book project. Wow! That's basically what this whole channel is, honestly, because I don't really do anything. Anyway, so today's book is Backlash by Sarah Littman. I don't know. That's your last name? Sure, why not? And I just want to inform you that there's gonna be a lot of quoting, so I'm sorry that I have to read to you, but story time, dog. Alright, let's get started. The first thing I'm identifying is perspective and point of view. So the point of view of this story is first person. I mean, literally, there are different perspectives. There is Libby. No, there isn't. Who's Libby? Who's Libby? Oh, there's Laura, there's Sydney, Bree, and Liam. So, yeah, this is an example of first person. I wait for him to answer, so numb with hurt and panic that I can't even cry. And it being first person, it starts with I in the perspective of Laura. The second quote to support that it is in first person is, "As soon as I hear the sirens coming down our street, I know they're coming for Laura. Don't ask me how I know, I just do." So that is in the perspective of Bree, and might I just say that it's a lovely first person account because it is in first person, which means that, wait for it, there is an I in it. Wow! The last quote is in the perspective of Bree again. It is, "I'd be lying if I said that I didn't want to post the first. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't want to be the first to post whatever news there was about Laura. Who wouldn't?" Again, I. That's like how you know that it's in first person. I mean, automatically. That's kind of what clicked for me. I mean, okay. Alright, so time to determine the perspective of different characters. So this is in the perspective of Sydney. It says, "I know this is a crisis, and my sister is in really bad shape, again, but I'm so sick of being treated like a second-class kid just because Laura is messed up. It's not fair." So, if you didn't know, perspective means the way that they see things, the character sees things. So, specifically, Sydney is feeling like she's being pushed down, she's being ignored, and her sister's always in the light for some reason. There's always something wrong with her, and Sydney's just getting pushed away and ignored and not even acknowledged, she's invisible. And Laura's the main person that her parents focus on, and so that makes Sydney not important, and so she thinks, because that's her perspective, that's her opinion. Bada bing, bada boom, my dude. This next one is in the perspective of Bree, and it says, "If anyone's a loser in this family, it's Liam. He just doesn't understand, but I can't say anything because I need him to send that text, so I try a new tact." So this means that Bree is taking that Liam says that because Bree posted a post on Facebook about Sydney being pulled into the ambulance, and he said that everyone is a loser. Well, that make Bree a loser. And so she was like, "Well, you know what? He's the loser because he just doesn't understand." So, I mean, that's basically her opinion on it. So, now I'm going to identify examples of dramatic irony. Dramatic irony means that the reader knows something that the character doesn't. So, in this perspective of Laura, our main character, it says, "I pretend to be excited about the flowers and the cards. I pretend that I can't wait to get out of here and see my friends. I have to find the words to convince them that I'm fine, that everything's perfect. So technically, we as a reader know that Laura does not appreciate the flowers and she does not want to see her friends. But since we know that, the nurses don't know that. So only we know what she's thinking. So the next quote to support the dramatical irony is here in the perspective of Liam. It says, "So I drifted away from Sid, pretending I was too busy to hang out, and I never told her why, which was a jerk move, but now that I think about it. Some friend." Okay, so we know that Liam was drifting away from Sid because he was pretending to be too busy, even though it says here that he was being called names and by his friends because he hung out with Sydney so much. So he just kind of was trying to forget about her because he didn't want to go through that anymore. So we know that Liam left her because of his friends, but she has no idea why. So for the next thing is situational irony, and that means we don't expect what's going to happen. So for the first quote, it says, "By the time we get up there, the bathroom doors are open, and I glimpse the pill bottles lined up on the edge of the bathtub like birds on a telephone wire." So this is at the beginning of the book. So this is when Laura, this is when she overdoses, and we don't expect that to happen. Sorry for the spoiler. Sorry, but that's what you gotta do, man. And yeah, we had no idea that she was going to be in there because previously she was locked in the bathroom and wasn't responding. So bada bing, bada boom, my dude. And then where is it? The last okay, so then the last quote for situational irony, it is and then almost as if she heard me, Laura's eyes started to flutter. So this is when Laura wakes up from her basic like coma, and we did not expect her to wake up because they were like, oh, she's gonna die because she overdosed on pills, because that's normally what she was trying to kill herself. So that was basically the main goal, and they were like, oh my god, she's gonna die. But then she like came back to life. She was like resurrected from the grave, even though she wasn't even dead. So yeah. Okay, so the last section is explaining how the difference in point of view and perspective creates suspense and or humor. So since point of view is the way the story is being told, it's not going to have as much details as it being told in the perspective of someone else's inner thoughts. Because if you have thoughts, it kind of backs it up more, and it kind of creates more like suspensefulness or humorous. So say like something's gonna happen and you're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? I don't know. And then the character gives its own opinion on what's gonna happen, like,
what's happening? Why is it happening? Where is it going?
well, I mean, it kind of has more detail to it rather than just flat out saying what's going to happen. Because I mean, I don't know, it kind of, personally, I think that if it's just told in a point of view, if it's just like,
I am confused. But you don't say that because that's perspective, because you're like thinking like, oh my god, where did that spaceship come from? Is it gonna fall on Earth right now? It's falling, but is it gonna fall on the ground?
so I mean that's perspective. And then like if it's in first person, you're like,
I look at the spaceship falling from ground. It falls.
like what was that as effective as the thoughts? No, it wasn't. So I mean, I guess that's basically either if it's with suspense or if it's with humor. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like, if it's humor, you're like,
Ha ha ha, that was really funny. I can't believe he did that. I wonder what kind of jokes he makes in his free time. Wow, those are some good jokes.
so that was perspective. But then if it's in first person, you're like,
I laugh at his jokes. Wow, I thought. Cool.
like, I laugh at his jokes. If that's it, like, why would you even say, like, that's so boring. That's so generic. It's like buying Kroger brand, but like, and not getting the real thing. I mean, no offense to Kroger brand or anything, but like, still, you know, you get it. So it's more effective if it's in perspective rather than it being in point of view, where it's just like straightforward. So, yeah. You're welcome. Adios, amigos. I got a blast, my dude.